And if you think about it, one of the most enduring brands of the last century would have to be the toy maker Lego. I mean, Lego as a brand today is more relevant, more profitable, more powerful than it's ever been before. And yet this is an 80-something-year-old brand. This is a company that started in the depths of the Great Depression in the mid-1930s. And in the early days made timber toys. And then when timber prices got too expensive during World War II, the founder of the company started to innovate, to look for different alternatives. And one of the first companies, first toy makers to invest in a plastic injection molding machine. Even at that point, a very pioneering company, a pioneering man with a DNA of breaking new territory. And they entered the world of bringing little plastic blocks to children. This whole concept of a new toy. And that set them up for relevance and prominence for a number of decades until people started to copy them. And as competition entered the marketplace, Lego realised that if it was going to stay relevant, it would need to reinvent itself. And even back in those early days, in the mid-50s, they invented the idea of a play set, where you wouldn't just buy a single block, but you could actually build an entire scene, a city scene, for instance. And then a few years later, their competitors again caught on to that innovation. And so in the mid-70s, Lego released the Lego figurine, the Lego man, which allowed you to take those scenes and not just have them as static scenes, but bring them to life. And consistently over the space of 4 decades, Lego reinvented itself and managed to stay enduringly relevant. However, in the 80s, things started to change. In fact, Lego entered an 11-year losing streak. At one point, Lego lost $500 million in the space of just 2 years. I mean, this was a brand in peril. And of course, the great challenge for Lego at this time was a generation of children coming through in the mid to late 80s who were far more interested in playing Super Mario Kart than building a Lego figurine or a Lego playset. And so the challenge for Lego was this. In the digital age, how are they going to take what was innately a tangible play experience and take it into the virtual realm? And they spent a number of years trying to figure out how to do that. The solution for them actually lay in the old philosophy, the old doctrine that if you can't beat them, join them. And so Lego, in a stroke of brilliance, went into licensing agreements with brands like Star Wars or Batman and started to create their own Lego-themed, Lego-branded video games. A few years later, Lego went even further into the digital age by developing a massively multiplayer online game called Lego Universe, a phenomenal piece of technology that allows kids from around the globe to play each other in a virtual Lego world. More recently, Lego have gone small. They've created smartphone apps which allow you to actually build Lego shapes on your device. Now, what's interesting about Lego is it's reinvented itself in recent years and turned around what seemed like an inevitable decline, even demise, is that it's not just been focused on the digital. They are still a company that produces a staggering number of bricks, blocks, playsets every year, even to this day. And yet what's also been genius is the way that they've targeted those traditional, tangible product lines. A new range which was released a number of years ago called Lego Friends is geared directly to girls. A demographic Lego had never targeted before. As of mid-2012, just over a quarter of Lego's revenue each year comes from toys sold to girls. What a brilliant company. What an amazing example of a brand that has reinvented itself right from the early days, has innovated, and as times have shifted and changed, has responded, adapted, evolved. What can you learn from Lego?